Why we need to configure user group policy loopback processing mode? Because here I am using remote session, a drive and resource redirection. Click on here. Do hello guys. Today in these videos, I'm going to demonstrate how we can restrict any type of file or folder copy from remote server to local system. As we know, many clients want, so nobody can copy any data from my remote server to local desktop. Also, many user want user not able to connect local drive to remote server. So these are basic requirement how we can fulfill my client requirement. So today in this video we will see how we can do that, and how we can restrict for particular user or particular remote server. So this is my current scenario. This is my domain controller. Yeah, you can say this is my remote desktop server. It's have the IP address 192.168.200.2, where user can connect through remote and do their work, right? So let's check. This is my client machine, and I have configured a user dsa.msc. I have configured a username is okay. This is user by that name is Sahil. I have configured Sahil user to take the remote. So let's check. My current scenario is uh, this is my client machine, Windows 10 machine. So here user use MSTS. The current scenario is user using my server through remote. This is my remote server IP 192.168.200.10. So that's connect. No, sorry. First of all, we need to deny this local server setting and more. This is a local connection. Many very clever user, if you denied the copy paste policy from server to local, so many user can connect local service, local drive. Okay, so how we can do that? Let's suppose connect and type here the password. So you can check here my local client machine C drive has connected to the remote server. So many user will do that, copy here and paste there. Okay, many user can connect, copy here from server and paste here its local machine. So we need to restrict that activity. Also, many user can connect, copy here and go to the machine. Copy here and paste there. Okay, so we need to deny this activity. So how we can do that? So let's check. Now delete and log out my server. Okay, so let's go on server. So now I'm going to, what we'll do, how we can restrict both the policy, copy paste policy and redirect local drive. So how we can do that? So let's open group policy management console, gpmc.msc. This is the short form to open the group policy management console. Okay, now I'm going to create a group policy like restrict copy and redirect local drive. Okay, okay, now click on here, right click here and edit. So first of all we need to enable configure user group policy loopback processing mode. Why we need to configure user group policy loopback processing mode? Because here I am using two policy. One is user based, other is computer based. So configure user group policy loopback processing mode is working both together. Before Windows Server 2012, if configure this type of policy, we need to create two policy. But here I'm going to create single policy to merge both user configuration policy and computer configuration policy also. So how we can do that? So this is the computer configuration based policy, and here is the user configuration based policy. So first I'm going to configure user configuration based policy. So click on here, Windows setting, sorry, administrative templates, and here is the Windows component, remote desktop service, and go to the remote desktop session host. Is the drive resource redirection. So here's the do not allow clipboard redirection. If you enable this policy, user cannot copy from remote to local desktop. As we can need to enable this policy setting is specific whether to prevent the sharing of clipboard content, clipboard redirection between a remote computer and client computer during remote desktop service session. You can use this setting to prevent the user redirecting clipboard data and from the remote computer and local computer. By default, remote desktop service allow clipboard redirection. So we need to enable it. Now user configuration has done. Now I'm going to computer configuration policy. Click on here, policy, administrative templates, and go to the system, and here is the policy, group policy. So first we need to enable configure user group policy loopback processing mode. So configure group policy, let me check. Configure user group policy loopback processing mode. You need to enable it. So enable and replace it, because we need to configure both policy, computer based and user based also. So we need to replace it. So Now you can see this policy is stating direct the system to apply the set of group policy object for the computer to any user you log in on a computer affected by this setting. It intended for especially user computers such as those in public place, laboratories and classroom, where you must modify the user setting based on the computer that being used. By default, the user group policy object determine which user setting apply. Is this setting enabled, then when a user login on this computer, the computer group policy object determine which set of group policy object apply. So here you can check what is the meaning of replace and what is the meaning of merge, where you can replace and where you can merge. Here is the both way, merge and replace. So replace indicate that the user setting defined in the computer group policy object replace the user setting normally applied to the user, right? So we need to replace it, this one. Okay. And merge indicate that the user setting define the user computer based computer policy object and the user setting normally apply to the user and combine if the setting conflict the user setting in the computer group, this one. So we need to configure replace it and apply. Okay, now I'm going to disable the drive redirection policy. Go to the remote desktop service and here is the remote session, a drive and resource redirection. Click on here, do not allow drive redirection and enable and click OK. Now policy has been done, so click and close. Now you can check here, select the policy and click on setting. Now you can see which one you have enabled. Configuration policy, configure user group policy, loopback processing mode is enabled, do not allow drive redirection is enabled, and user configuration policy do not allow clipboard redirection is enabled, right? So now I'm going to connect this policy to existing my domain, where my domain controller is the remote desktop server. Now you can see dsc.msc. Where is my domain controller? Here's my domain controller. This is my server where user need to connect as a remote desktop. So you need to enable this policy here. So sorry. Yeah, so you need to right click here and link existing policy and restrict copy and redirect local drive. So you can click here. Now policy has been enabled here. So let's go cmd command prompt and gp update /force. We need to update the policy once you create new policy and apply the policy. So you have to forcefully update the group policy with the help of gp update /force. Now policy has been successfully updated. Now I'm going to client machine and check whether it's working or not. So let's go MSTSC. This is my remote server, and check whether its local resources is connected or not. This is the connected local drive C. Now connect my server with the help of credential. Okay, now you can check here. uh, this is my server, so let's check whether local resource is connected or not connected. You can see here only C drive is available. This is the C drive only for server. Okay, now this is the file. Let me copy and go to the, this is my client machine. Now paste here. Not paste option is not highlight. You can check here. Oh, click on once again, click on here, right click and copy and go to this client machine and paste. Not able to paste here, means our both policy is working in a single group policy. With the help of configure user group policy loopback processing mode, friends, this is a very new policy introducing in Windows Server 2012. So you have to know that this is a very important policy. Many interviewer ask in interview question, it's very important how we can configure in what is the uh, configure user group policy loopback processing mode, how it's work and where we can configure, what is the scenario. Actually this is working, this is the use only for a remote desktop only. So friends, I hope you understand how we can configure user group policy loopback processing mode and how we can do that. Also how we can restrict copy from remote server to desktop machine, local desktop. Also how we can restrict local drive connect to server. So now we will meet in next video with the next topic. Hope you understand all the thing. So thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye bye.